It's your friendly local constitutional kook again, Bill Henshaw, Constitutional Crisis Channel, and you're going to love these videos we're doing today. The first one starts off with an experience I recently had in the California Supreme Court, where I actually went with my friend whose case it was. We showed up there with 225 pages and 8 documents, a petition, and 7 briefs. And we had a 30-minute talk, friendly, even engaging talk with the clerk of court, who disappeared several times into the back room to call somebody. I'd love to know who it was. They refused to file anything. Flat out refused, unless we could put it in a way that it would be recognized by the California Supreme Court. And I said to the girl, and I think she had a lot of thinking to do about this, and she's actually the one technically on the hook for 8 acts of treason to the Constitution, but it's really the Chief Justice, good old Tani Cantil Sequoia, that did this. But it says right on the title page, I did it very carefully, California Supreme Court, sitting with the concurrent jurisdiction of a federal circuit court. Jurisdiction existed for 225 years. Constitution mandates it, the Supreme Court recognizes it. I can sustain my burden of proof at the drop of a hat on this issue. Didn't get filed. Pointed out to her, it says writ of habeas corpus, non-statutory federal Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2. And I said there's no known declared state of rebellion or invasion here, hence this writ must be available. Didn't help. Nothing helped. Because what they wanted me to do was make it a statutory writ of habeas corpus, probably a state statutory writ, and that's no good. You can't do a damn thing with those statutory writs because they're not designed for us. We are not persons subject to the jurisdiction of the 14th Amendment. And I can dead bang prove that. You have to be a corporation in order to qualify there, and that's not what we are. So we went around, and my goodness, I can't say I'm surprised. In fact, I told my friend, do not expect these documents to get filed. But what we went through, and think about this, by the way, this happened to me before. I had it happen when I sent it by mail, and I got a letter back from the deputy clerk of court informing me that they were not going to file my documents because the questions I raised, federal questions I raised, are beyond the jurisdiction of California courts. That's impossible if California is a state admitted into this union. Flat out impossible. Now I've got, this is round 2, and the same Chief Justice, and she's going to have more counts for treason to deal with here before this is all over. I mean, you can't do this. By the way, I asked about this guy. I said, is this guy still working here 4 years later? No. This may have had nothing to do with it, but they know, because I sent him a thank you letter for what you did, and they got it. And I said, yeah, I know that the justices couldn't do this on the record because that would in fact be treason, and that's a career ender. Can't happen. So this one is so plain. And by the way, this arose in a quote-unquote civil case, a dissolution of marriage, which is wrong from the get-go because what do you dissolve? You dissolve corporations, not marriages. But then they think we're corporate entities, so that fits like a glove. So, and he had no way to challenge jurisdiction. He did not know in the trial court. He and I didn't know each other at that time. We met through a mutual friend sometime later. Had no way to know what the situation was, could not raise any jurisdictional issues, just like you at home can't do, because they don't teach you a damn thing in the mandatory public schools about any of this stuff. Now, I'm not saying you should get a complete legal education during the course of probably the last 6 years or so, 7th grade to 12th grade. But my goodness, if they would just bring up a small fraction of what it is I've learned over the course of 4 decades, that would set you on the right track to know how to research and find answers and get your interest early on, because that's what gets you out from under the damn government. If you know your rights and go in there and enforce them, like I did in South Carolina, and those of you listening to these videos know what I did there. I blew the bastards out. 5 months back there in jail as a political prisoner. No attorney, no nothing. And it wasn't close. You can learn to do the same thing. That really isn't as hard as what you would think it is. I mean, it damn well looked impossible to a lot of my friends, and yet I knew from day one I'm going to be back here. And I was. It took longer than it should, a subject matter for another day. But the point is, what's just happened here in California, I'm drafting papers for the United States Supreme Court right now that I hope will be heard when the court reconvenes in October. It's near the end of the term now, so we probably won't get it there this term. And a criminal complaint for Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, to file charges of treason against Tani and some other people for what they've done in this case. And this is exactly the situation you're going to have in your case as you file my documents and you get them filed and the dumbass doesn't answer them, and they never do. Now they've set the record against themselves. And we go from there. And now in an offensive case, when they come in and try to beat us, they can't do it because the record before the court is only the case in the trial court, or traffic court, or what have you, where they didn't answer. And they therefore agreed with everything we said. That's how this system is supposed to work. Well, I don't want to run on too long with this, but you're going to hear a lot more about this subject matter over the course of the next 2 or 3 sessions we have with videos. I'll keep you up to date and let you know what's going on. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.